Hello? Hello, hello. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Doing okay now. Buzz Aldrin's first words on the moon were beautiful view, magnificent desolation. Alan Bean, who was the third person on the moon, said, "Boy, the LM looks nice from outside." And then he turned to the sun, he said, "My, the sun really does look bright." The fourth person on the moon was Pete Conrad. And he didn't think that anybody would remember what the fourth person on the moon would say. So he said, "Whoopee! Man, that may have been one small one for Neil, but that was a real big one for me." You see, by then the lunar exploration program was well on its way. We were taking things for granted. The Russian and the American lunar exploration programs were very prolific. We had taken photographs of the far side of the moon. We had landed penetrators, landers. We had established experiments on the moon. We even had rovers on the moon, little jeeps to drive around. We had taken the moon for granted. And then we forgot all about it. So when Icarus Interstellar started almost 8 years ago, we were motivated by a notion that progress towards deep space and interstellar flight had also been forgotten. The progress that the Daedalus team had made from the British Interplanetary Society was almost 30 years old. There was no one really working on this. So we pulled together a team, young people, old people, whoever people, to work on really advanced things that had no steward. There was no leader. So we taught ourselves what we called interstellar engineering. And we called everyone who participated a designer. Not a scientist, not an engineer, but a designer. In the modern understanding of design, a design approach to research, we understand that you're planning an experiment with the understanding that the plan is going to change. That's what a design-based approach is to an experiment. And that really did serve to ring true at Icarus. For a team who was disconnected from a university, we founded our own organization. We put together our own teams. We studied fusion, nuclear propulsion, nuclear power systems, solar sails, beam-driven propulsion, all the different types of propulsions. And we had a saying amongst us that there's no one way to the stars. We are looking at all of the different ways. But that no one way to the stars meant other things also, because we started to understand the importance of the arts, which was shocking to me in 2013. I didn't really have an affinity for the arts myself. I didn't get it. What is an artist going to do at Starship Congress 2013? But my heart melted at that first conference, and I can't imagine not just a Starship Congress, but any kind of research or any kind of science not having an aspect of the arts in it. And I've been vocal about it to maybe convince others of the same. In Starship Congress 2015, we went into the conference with the understanding that we're going to engage with students. So we took the conference to Philadelphia, to Drexel University, and we made a point of putting some of our esteemed guests, out of their way, where they had to stay in a hotel, not where the conference grounds were, and go and, walk into a a lecture hall, and participate in the program there, which was focused to students. Over half of our attendees were students there, because that's what no one way to the stars meant. Today, at Starship Congress 2013, we're making another point, driving a point. First and foremost, I really resonated with some feedback and some criticism, so to speak, constructive criticism that we got that said, so all these studies, all these paper studies, right, designing an interstellar vehicle, thermal systems, propulsion, communication systems, a wealth of knowledge. But when are you going to bend metal? That's a good question. Challenge, right? Let's do that. Let's do that. But in order to bend metal, we need to have an incremental achievement, a stage for incremental achievements. So while we were discussing this with a team, and it really came together with a discussion with an artist, who was Mark Rademacher, who's famous for the IXS Enterprise renderings and that. He's a wonderful computer graphics artist and an engineer. And we were talking about going back to the moon. And the phrase was actually Mark's. And he said, you know, I don't know when really it was that we started underappreciating the moon as a jump spot for all of the planets in our solar system and beyond. And I thought, yep, we're going to do an entire conference on that. Second, we can't just be a mission for one. It has to be a mission for all. Because we don't want to go ourselves. We want to bring our loved ones with us. We want to bring our children with us. There's only one way that space becomes a desire and a market driver and a business driver and an industrial motivation, and that's only if space is a place for everybody. So a conference doesn't have to have just one theme. We could do whatever we want to make our goal more realizable. So with those words, I'd like to welcome you to Starship Congress 2017. And